This is a highly experiential approach. In fact, we're going to be utilizing our clients' experience as the gateway into trance and to help them create therapeutic change. This methodology is super fast. Yes? You can't hear me. Okay, let me get a little closer maybe. I think that works. Oh, can you hear me in the back? Okay, I'll try to really elevate the voice. Let me know if you have trouble with that. So what are the above? Okay, therapeutic alliance. We know all these different terms in therapy and in hypnosis. What we're going to be doing is just in allowing the client to show us what we're going to do during the session versus an approach where we might come in with a plan. So we're not going to be using pre-talks. We're not going to be using inductions, deepeners, techniques, scripts. It's just kind of a really fun way to work with people. It's a little intense, so I'm going to have volunteers, clients, and a hypnotist come up. And we're going to be utilizing 5 principles. I'll go over those in a moment. That's all we're going to be doing, and we're going to see what happens and what we can learn from it. Then we'll debrief and we'll do a Q&A. And I would like to get a second demo in if we can today. It'd be cool to get through 2. If you're going to be a client, just have a real problem, right? Like something. Oh, I am recording this now. I don't want it to be something that's super embarrassing for you, right? We're going to be talking about some sensitive stuff on the front end. I want to let you know that. And our 5 principles, I'll go into that now. Really simple. Number 1, listening, but we're going to be listening fully, right? Not listening to figure out what we're going to say next. Listening to really understand the person in front of us. It's such a powerful skill. Just that alone is going to be worth the time. You can use that with your relationships, with your children, with your family. Exploration. So that enhances the listening process because we want to learn more about what's really going on. What's going on underneath the surface of the presenting problem? That's where we're going to be targeting our approach. And then there's awareness, just becoming aware of things. The client's going to be becoming aware of the things underneath the surface at the same time that we are, which is cool. And discovery, as we make discoveries, we're going to see what resources, insights, really cool stuff shows up. But we're going to be creating the space they need to create the change. And the hypnotic phenomena may happen, may not happen, but I'm very curious to hear your thoughts afterward and the outcomes we get. So that's a really, really brief overview. Do those 5 principles make sense? Pretty intuitive. So before we begin, imagine the moment humankind first sat down, like we are now. And maybe they were hunting, maybe they were gathering. They're hearing sounds in the background. Is that a wolf? Is that a bear? But they made a decision to listen to one person at a time. Maybe somebody stood up and spoke. Think about that moment. That is like the foundation of society. That's a massive shift in human evolution. What do you think might have been going through their minds in that moment? They have all the distractions necessary for survival, and they still made that decision to sit down and collaborate. And maybe that person sat down and someone else stood up. And were they just listening to one another? Really trying to understand it amidst the chaos of what it took to exist back then. So that's really the approach I take when I'm thinking about client work. We're complex systems as human beings. Societies are complex. And a lot of times on the front end, I wind up guessing a lot if I'm not just allowing the client to show me what we need to do. That's sort of the foundation of the approach here. Does that all make sense? Okay, cool. That being said, let's jump into a demo. Who has a problem they want to work on? Be brave. I love when no hands come up. That means it's going to be really good. Corey? Cool. All right, come on up. Can we get a round of applause for Corey? Who wants to be a brave hypnotist? You'll learn way more than anyone else will. There we go. Jan, come on up. Folks, we got to give Jan a hand. Yeah, diving in.